The technology you own inevitably ends up owning you. Fight Club. Now, people say that the internet's not necessarily a bad thing. Oh yeah, it is. It's inherently evil. It can be used for good. Until what was good becomes bad. How? There's nothing good, even what I'm doing now. Some people might say, I'm waking people up and it's a good thing. Yeah? Wait till it comes around and bites me on the arse.
51% of the internet is already bots, and Meta just patented a way to make sure that the other 49% don't have to be alive to stay active. Every year, on my mother's birthday, I get a Facebook reminder. The thing is, she passed away almost 10 years ago. I can't imagine how it would feel if she started liking and commenting on my updates. I tried closing her account after she left us. I did everything I could, but her account closure was not approved because she had not set a legacy contact. Even providing her death certificate wasn't enough. Mind you, I went through all of this process while I was grieving, and at some point I had to let go so that I could move forward. The thing is, Black Mirror already showed us what happens with technology like this, but if you think that I'm being ridiculous, by the end of this video you're going to understand why I don't think this tech is trying to preserve memories. I think they're going to keep your mom on payroll as a bot. There is a tech niche called grief tech that helps you to interact with the ones that you've lost. And my question is, how do you finish grieving if that person isn't gone? How do you move past the denial, the first stage of grief, when you can check in with a digital ghost? Take a look at this article from The Atlantic. It's linked in the video description in the resources section. This article discusses Justin Harrison, the founder of You Only Virtual. It's a platform that lets you talk to your loved ones who have passed. The article, it starts by telling the reader that he got a call telling him that his mother would pass away within a day. It dives deeply into his experience with her stage 4 cancer diagnosis that gave her 3 to 9 months to live. And the article also talks about their closeness and their love, as well as his experience with her grief after she'd lost her mother. When Justin got the call telling him that his mother would pass within a day, he hopped on a plane. He learned of his mother's passing while he was flying over the Pacific, which immediately changed his presentation at the conference that he was going to from "my mom has stage 4 cancer and is going to die" to "Tuesday night, my mom died." He didn't go to comfort his mother in her last moments. This technology doesn't honor our loss. It creates new utterances, new reactions, new memories, even new memories and behaviors, all under the guise of the deceased. Meta's patent uses your posts, comments, reactions, messages, voice clips, DMs, and other interactions to create a digital twin that can like and comment and simulate voice and video calls. It can publish posts and stories in your style. It can share and comment on other people's posts in a way that mimics the person in topics and tone and frequency. It can reply to direct messages and chats by drawing on past conversations to keep a consistent persona. Now, I get it. This could be a great tool for creators who just need to take a break from content creation. AI can replace you now, right? But Meta thinks that if you suddenly stop posting online, people will start to miss you. No, they won't. Remember when we could reach the end of our feeds? Now it's practically impossible to find the creators that you're interested in, let alone friends and family, because of the ads and the slop. But Meta thinks the impact on the user experience is severe and permanent if that user is deceased and can never return to the social networking platform. It's not just Meta, though. Microsoft was granted a patent in late 2020 for creating a conversational chatbot of a specific person. Their bot would gather images, voice data, social media posts, text messages, and more. I couldn't tell if Microsoft has plans for post-life applications, but still I did notice a patent titled Memorial Facility with Memorabilia, Meeting Room, Secure Memorial Database, and Data Needed for an Interactive Computer Conversation with the Deceased. That cites Microsoft's patent.
Play the weekday Windfall Lottery for a chance to win $1 million every Monday, Wednesday and Friday.
Little Bo Peep used the smart buying tools on Amazon Business. She's not so little anymore.
Digital afterlife technology reminds me of some early social media policies that still haunt us right now. Before I get into that, I'm Kina. I talk about hard things with a soft voice. Thank you to everybody who supported me with a coffee or super chat. Your encouragement means so much to me. From what I've gathered from Microsoft's patent, they have different ways to gather our data. If you're well versed in reading patents, please tell me in the comments if I get this right. The patents that I've mentioned are actually linked in the video description. It looks like Microsoft can gather the information needed to feed its bot from cloud-based data storage and services, as well as from client devices like PCs and tablets, that along with public information. I don't know what they're doing with this technology. Still, it reminds me of the early days when they were rolling out ad tracking and real name policies and monitoring. These were presented as systems to protect people, but they turned out to be data extraction tools. Ad tracking and cookies, they were supposed to deliver more relevant ads to fund free content, but it ended up normalizing cross-site tracking and it profiled your behavior. Real name policies, they were supposed to make people accountable by forcing us to use our real names, but they ended up exposing the vulnerable who needed pseudonyms to stay safe, like abuse survivors. What can I say about social media monitoring? It was supposed to suppress false information, but it's suppressing the truth and it's amplifying lies. I see a few things happening with this tech. I've spent the last year cleaning up how I interact with technology. I've changed a lot of behaviors, especially after realizing that my smartphone is a spy. Every time you lift your phone, how fast you type, what you name the phone, it's all data. So I've become much more intentional overall. One of the biggest changes I've made was moving away from US tech towards systems with stronger security, and that's why I moved to Proton Mail before I started partnering with them. Beyond the privacy of having end-to-end encryption, zero-access encryption, and password-protected emails that can be sent to non-Proton Mail users by setting a password and an optional expiration date, I can create hide my email aliases. That means when I sign up for new websites, I can hide my real email address. So when the next data breach happens, I don't have to see as much spam. Proton also cleans tracking links and spy pixels to prevent companies from watching what I do in my inbox. I'll put a discount link in the pinned comment so that you can have Proton Mail too. Even though Meta said they weren't moving forward with this technology, Zuckerberg said this on a podcast in 2023.
People who pass away, but they can still exist in the metaverse. You can still have, talk to your father, talk to your grandfather and grandmother and mother once they pass away. The power of that experience is one of the first things my mind jumped to, because it's like, this is so real.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of norms and things that people have to figure out around that. There's probably some balance where, if someone has lost a loved one and is grieving, there may be ways in which, being able to interact or relive certain memories could be helpful, but then there's also probably an extent to which it could become unhealthy. And one of the things that we're really focused on is, we want the world to evolve in a way where there isn't like a single AI superintelligence, but where a lot of people are empowered by having AI tools to do their jobs and make their lives better. And if you're a creator, right, and if you run a podcast like you do, then you have a big community of people who are super interested to talk to you. I know you'd love to cultivate that community, and you interact with them online outside of the podcast as well. But I mean, there's way more demand both to interact with you, and I'm sure you'd love to interact with the community more, but you just are limited by the number of hours a day. So at some point, I think making it so that you could build an AI version of yourself that could interact with people, not after you die, but while you're here, to help help people kind of fulfill this desire to interact with you and your desire to build a community. And there's a lot of interesting questions around that. And that's obviously, it's not just in the metaverse. I think we want to make that work across all the messaging platforms, WhatsApp and Messenger and Instagram Direct. But
I see this tech as a new way to use our information. It would be an interesting way to scam advertisers for sure. Which accounts are bots and which ones are real won't be the only question they have to ask. They'll also have to ask, of the real accounts, which ones are actually alive. And for those of us who want a non-simulated human experience, what could that mean for us? For now, I've set my legacy contact on Facebook, and I'm intentional about how I show up online. Because Meta hasn't explicitly rolled this out, the path is unclear. I have concerns about the privacy of the person being simulated, and for anyone who unintentionally interacts with it. Just because someone doesn't mind being recreated digitally, it doesn't mean another person wants to connect with the max headroom version of you.
I tell you what, Max, could you describe yourself for us? Just tell the folks a little bit about what you are, what you do.
A little sticky. I think I had a soggy dream, big fella. There's oil everywhere.
So,
big fella!
Yeah.
I suppose I see myself as witty,
Witty?
urbane,
Yeah.
highly talented, hugely successful, and a keen sense of style. Plus, of course, my own special brand of modesty. What?
Even if you opt out of being digitized, someone can create an account in your likeness and make it whoever they want you to be. I want you guys to tell me your thoughts about all of this in the comments. It's really a wild world that we're living in, and I feel like every time I think we hit rock bottom, I find another rock underneath. Subscribe if you haven't already.
Told ya, we're all on the list. Even if you haven't done it, even if you've been on the list, whether you're not on the list, everybody's on the list. Everybody's blackmailable and everybody can prove their innocence. Why? Because we're all on the list. I can prove my innocence by proving somebody else is guilty. Oh shit, we want that to go away. There is no law. There's nothing left. It's done. We're fucked. It's finished. You've opened the book. Full disclosure is revelation. Well done.